I call to order the Beer Brothers Lodge of the Royal Order of the Burn Pot with a roll call. Beer Brother Mark.
Here.
Beer Brother Brett.
Here.
Okay. Beer Brother Dan. Here. Before we get started, a point of order. I think, our name is officially the Beer Brothers Lodge of the Royal Order of the Burn Pot, but I hereby vote that from now on, we just generally refer to ourselves as the Order of the Beer Brothers. All in favor?
No, I'm not in favor. I'm sorry. I can't agree to that. It's too complicated. I like the bigger name. It just sounds better.
Come on, Mark.
I'm in favor. Let's get on with this damn meeting.
Okay. It passed. Well, it passed by a majority anyway. Okay, so
yeah, that's right.
Okay, so the beer tonight is I am presenting,
guys. Aren't we?
And I have my Lake Michigan shirt on because tonight we're having from New Holland, which is in Holland, Michigan. It's the Dragon Milk White. Oh, I'm sorry, Beer Brother Mark. I have usurped your responsibility for starting the burn pot.
I think our Beer Brother Mark, I think Dan must be thirsty tonight or something. He's jumping right to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're breaking complete protocol, Robert's Rules of Order. I don't know if I can handle this meeting. It's not going.
I think we just need to have a beer, and all right will be with the world.
I second that motion. Okay,
Sure.
So everybody's burn pot is lit. Yes, mine is. Anyway, so tonight, New Holland Dragon's Milk White. Now, of course, they're known well for their Dragon's Milk, which is, of course, a bourbon, or it's not a bourbon stout, but a milk stout, and it's dense, it's rich, we had a tap takeover one time. They were talking about that is probably one of the most difficult beers to make because it takes forever. It's not a simple beer. So it's 6% ABV. It is a white stout, which my Oxford beer companion does not have a description of what a white stout is. So let's go ahead and get this going.
My fear. I'm going to give a little fear I'm having of this right now. I'm thinking this is going to be the White Claw of the stout family, and that just scares me a little. So my expectations are pretty low with this. So I'm hoping I enjoy it.
Okay. Now I'm getting a little bit of shout out for the folks at Southbound down in Savannah. I'm using their glass tonight. Oh, now look at that. It's definitely not a stout. It's hazy. Got a little bit of a head on it.
That's a beautiful head on there. That's perfect. Nice.
Well, I missed the glass on the first pour there, so I got to do it.
Wait. So.
Brett's going retro tonight.
Yeah.
Brett's going Stranger Things back
I
to
don't
the
know
80s.
if you know that this is a St. Suite 1984. I was 10 years old when this glass was.
Yeah, you're doing the Dungeons and Dragons Stranger Things thing going on over there.
Now you can tell that's a nice kind of amber. It's a little bit of golden, hue to it. Almost looks like a mead.
Nice.
Wow.
Did you guys pick up like a little vanilla kind of when you first tasted that?
A little bit of vanilla, just a kind of a hint of citrus, without the sharpness, without the acidity.
Yeah, it's real smooth, very malty, not sharp at all.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's.
It's kind of a lighter beer with that creaminess of a stout. It doesn't have the sharp stout to it.
Yeah,
but it's like a light. I don't want to insult anybody and say it's the Bud Light of stout beers, but it has that light, crisp flavor to it, but it has also that creaminess to it. I'm pleasantly surprised.
It's 6%, which is light compared to what the Big Brother is on this thing. Big Brother's 11%, which is the regular Dragon's Milk. Which you have a couple Dragon's Milk and you'll be ready to throw in the towel with that. So 6% is getting closer to a normal test for a normal beer.
Yep. So anyway, I was trying to figure out how do you describe a white stout? So I went to my Oxford Beer Companion. It didn't have anything. But I found a website called OCT, like in October, but just OCT.co. And they have a thing on white stout. Now, I have to say that is a website put together by AB Bev. So it's big corporate beer. But anyway, so it says on their website, under white stout gimmick or gateway beer, a white stout might be the ultimate parlor trick. Although the beer is a golden pale color, it tastes and smells like dark, brooding stouts you've grown to know and love, with hints of chocolate and coffee. And I think that's what some, you say with vanilla, but, a lot of times vanilla and chocolate, those flavors kind of come together. And I can see some coffee, but, usually a lot of the coffee beers tend to be a tad bit on the dry side. This is not. But if you close your eyes and drank it, you'd never know it's a light colored beer. And I have to agree with that. If you did a blind taste, literally a blind tasting.
I don't taste, and maybe it will when it warms up a little. Mine was actually pretty cold. The bourbon barrel.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I'm not tasting any of that.
It's kind of being overpowered by that, what I was calling the vanilla flavoring. That's what I'm tasting.
I think the bourbon barrel is providing that vanilla. I'd like to try. I'd like to see what it would be like to have the white stout without the bourbon barrel. Right. And I think maybe it'd be a little bit. You'd taste a little bit more chocolate, and a little bit more of the coffee. They said most white stouts get their flavor from chocolate and coffee rather than the roasted malt that generates the dark color in traditional stouts. Eliminating the roasted malt allows the white stout to stay pale in color. The creamy texture in the white stout comes from the oats and non-fermentable grains, and the slightly sweet flavor comes from lactose. So, this is now in the can, they just say bourbon barrel aged white stout. Website might have a little bit more description of what they do, but it says smooth, creamy, legendary.
It's definitely creamy. I like it's smooth. It's not a sharp beer. It's very smooth. It's kind of like white chocolate, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good way of saying it. About now we try to give this a rating. I'd say this is a 9 for me. Usually, what do the other judges have? Can I drink more than one of these in an evening? I think I could drink 1.5 of these, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm going to explode because it's so rich, so creamy. But this is a really nice tasting beer. I don't know what would y'all rate it?
I'd go probably 8.5. I'm having a stout should be a dark, thick, chewy beer to me, and this being a white stout, it's just different. And I agree. I think you could drink a couple of these, and on a hot day, a nice cold light stout will play a little mind trick with you and not make you think you're drinking a heavy stout beer. But it's good. I wouldn't turn down a second one.
I'm
sorry.
I'd give it a solid 9. I'd give it a solid 9. It's got great. It's great. I'm not a big IPA fan, as you all know. This is a nice, smooth beer. It's easy going, easy to drink, almost a little too easy for me. It's very good, though. And I really am impressed with New Holland and the beer that they make. They make some really nice beer. Their regular Dragon's Milk has always been a go-to for me. I love that beer. It's a great beer. And tonight, huh?
What we need to do is we need to do a little side trip, and I'll bring y'all some samples of their beer barrel bourbon that they make. They make a beer barrel bourbon.
Well,
we need to try that one night.
I actually had that last night.
Mm-hmm.
Just FYI.
I have a little in my on my shelf.
Well, then you know what? If we all have New Holland beer barrel bourbon, then I don't have to send any over to you. We can just all get our bottles out and we'll try something and we'll talk about it.
One note to tell people about, and by the time this airs, it might be well past June 2020, but they've got a bunch of beers they're releasing this year. they've got a Dragon's Milk Triple Mash they're going to be releasing next month in June of 2020. It's a bourbon barrel aged stout. It's a 17% ABV.
Ooh.
That's going to be one that would.
Well,
you can only buy that in South Carolina here.
Well, I'll have to have my father-in-law, Dave-in-law, go, since they live 20 miles away from the brewery. Send him down on a mission to get us some.
I think that's definite. I would vote for Dave to take care of us.
Triple Mash.
Cool.
Triple Mash. Remember that one.
Sounds good. That sounds
Well,
wonderful. What would you pair this? What would you pair it with?
Well, first off, Dave should get some and join us in a tasting sometime. I mean, that would be his payment for his services. Would be he have to get online and join us for the tasting.
If we can get him to overcome his fear of anything technology-wise, well, I think we could do that.
What would you guys pair it with?
I had a nice steak and baked potato tonight with dinner, and I think this would have gone really good with it.
We had what we called what kind of enchiladas? I made turkey meatloaf the other night. We had a bunch of it left over, so Heather made, Mrs. Dan made meatloaf enchiladas out of them. So, Mexican. I'm not sure what you call that, but it's pretty good. This actually might have gone with it. I think this would have gone nicely with it.
This is kind of like blood type A positive. I mean, it pretty much goes with anything. Isn't that A positive goes with? I mean, this is one of those that I could have this with a steak. Not that I eat steak that often, but I could have with a steak or a burger. Any kind of meal, to me, this would go with. It's a calm flavor. It's not overpowering, and I think that would fit well with anything.
But right now, what I'm really, really craving for with this would be a bowl of vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, that would probably work good with it.
I think this would go excellent with a bowl of vanilla ice cream. Heavy on the vanilla.
Or some or some good homemade sugar cookies would be delicious with this.
Yeah.
Maybe with your bowl of vanilla ice cream, man. Have them stuck on the side all the way around. I'm painting a picture here. So
well, I thought this was a good beer. I think this is a good beer. So what we have on tap now, Beer Brother Mark, I think you're up next week. What you going to be presenting?
Oh, you just threw me a curveball because we've got a few of them to choose from. Let me give it a minute of thought here. You guys can keep some dialogue going so we don't have dead space in our video here. But let me think a minute about what we've got here. Actually, you know what? I need to go take a look. Sign this meeting off, and we'll be a mystery as to what we have next week.
Yeah, I think a mystery in life is always a good thing. So,
all right, guys.
Well, I hereby call the meeting an adjournment, and until next week, cheers.